Good evening. Um, Welcome to episode 173 of Live Drawing. Tonight, we're going to be working on more of the Undersea Hero stretch goals and rewards. We're trying to get the early bird sketches done, and I'll give you a brief update. We got the Making of Zine in the mail today, which is very exciting. This was one of the stretch goals. I promised to make a zine. It's got a story that Jeff McClellan and I did in it. This is a prelim. It's kind of, I like seeing the preliminary work, and if you don't want any spoilers, then, take a hike for 5 minutes. This is the prelim for the original cover art, the main cover art. And when you see it, it'll come with your book and you can look at them side by side and see the changes that I made and the things that were the same. And when you open it up, there's like a little blurb that I did that's right here. This is actually a different cover layout that I played around with. There's an important character that's a whale in it, so I kind of wanted to get him in there. And you got Krakus, and it kind of gives Colonel Feathers and Professor Prawn a little bit more shine, but it was a similar concept with the wave coming over. I really liked the idea and the tension that created, and I eventually used that for the main cover. And I kind of wanted you to get the feeling that you were looking in my sketchbook with this. So, like, there's what you can see here is the prelim, and this is like the rough that I did that's about letter size, and then this shows you a shrunk down version of the finished artwork, and you can see all the changes I made, like the turning of the characters, changing of body language, all the sorts of interesting little details. Hey, Martha, it's good to see you. Things are moving right along. How are you doing? This is one of my favorite pages from the book, and you can see here's the lettering as I had planned it and the way it goes. And then you can see how here's the water as it falls as the tide goes out, and then the crab catches his little fish there. This is a page that I ended up doing the prelim, and I liked the energy in the prelim. There was just so much like just raw energy and power and some of the ideas that I ended up, here's actually a scrapped version of the page. I ended up redrawing it twice, and you can look at this and then look at what's in the book, and you can see, and you can compare and see how the color was planned. This is just black and white, this little zine here. This is like an old school comic zine, and then there's like some character sketches, and then I talk about the process of like how I came up with things, different ideas I had, things that made me laugh. And then this is the start of the story that Jeff and I did. And I don't want to spoil it, but you can see a story by Jeff McClellan. And he and I worked on the tick together for basically 10 years. So, I will check my email. Thank you. Yeah, I've been running around today, so I'm sorry if I didn't see it. And then on the back, I just wanted to have this thing crammed. There's other pages in there. I didn't want to spoil the end of the story. On the back, this is the 2-page spread of the music number. And this was a very risky storytelling thing to do. And to do a song and dance number that goes across 2 pages twice, I just wanted to show the whole process of it getting planned out, of this particular part of it. And then you see the finished one, and you can just see the differences. You can see how, like, yeah, he's attaching the money bag to the hook, but where Krakus is, where he's placed, where she is, what she's doing, she's more in control and helping. She's being more assertive. And then here I changed this. I was going to have this be a split panel, but that would have messed with the flow of the eye flow, the line of action too. And so I used the ceiling to frame where the sub was going to be. And you can see here, I just had 2 panels, and that would have been not nearly as nice to look at. And then the last panel is very similar. But yeah, you can look at all kinds of artwork, and this will come with, like, when you get your book. That's why I had the Action Comics out, because this is about the size of the book, the big anniversary thick book, and it'll come in, and The zine will be in the back like this with your prints. And then there's actually two more prints coming. One is the Atlantic Pacific, where you get water from both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans on it, real water that I brought back from California and stuff from up the street. And you'll also get the field guide. So those are the things that come with just getting the book and backing it. So like it's a pretty big, robust package. So you get 2 books and you get a bunch of prints. You get a field guide and you get water from the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. Little patches of water painted on with some watercolor tone, but that's where we're at. Oh, nice. 200 views. Very good. That's really good. But there's the zine, and we've got shipping stuff. I got the mailer boxes. I got all kinds of stuff. Here's some less exciting stuff like mailer boxes, like, and then you get your thank you note, and then the comic will go in here, and then tape it shut, and then on the back like this, we will do just like the box doodles that I've been doing for years. Yeah, we can draw one right now. Or it saved me one to do later. What do you say? Let's do a box doodle. Those are fun. Usually I just do like a quick tick or character I've drawn a zillion times. So like, if we did the tick, I haven't drawn the tick as much in some time. And I will have a tick related announcement coming soon, which is pretty exciting. These are the things that make the mail people happy. They always get a kick out of seeing the little drawings on the boxes that I drop off. So, grab our there's the less exciting stuff that shows up, like tape and boxes. That it's like, do you really want to see me unboxing tape? I don't know. That's the kind of thing that I just put my foot down of like, I'm not making that content. There's enough of that stuff out there if people want to go find it. Hey, Caleb, good to see you. Tape is exciting, yes. We got a nice full case of tape ready to go. Got a good deal on 24 rolls of tape with 2 tape dispensers. Yeah, very exciting. Below budget. Something came in below budget. We got to take special note of that. I think I set aside $50 for tape. It wound up being 25. So hey. We do have about 20 people that still need to. Oh, I'm doing well, Caleb. It's good to see you, man. I hope everything's going well at the shop. Hope you got lots of customers buying comics. I was actually looking at some shows that happen out in Ohio next year, so we'll see what happens. No announcements yet, but like I know that GalaxyCon is this weekend. My buddy Daryl Banks is there. I think Ron Mars is there too. Both people I highly recommend that if you ever see them at a show to go say hello to. They are extraordinarily kind people, and I'm sure they would be happy to talk comics and stuff with you. Just put Ian Nichols and Fat Cat Funny addresses on there. I don't know if I have an Ian Nichols. There's an Ian C. Nichols address. That's what like my website, or Ian Nichols art. Ian C. Nichols art. I think that's the other one. I don't know. This is what my box doodles tend to look like. I was actually watching the 1990s Tick show. It's free on Tubi right now if you've never seen it. The one with Patrick Warburton. Hey, thank you. Yeah, that would be great. I'd love to be able to tell all the folks that I know in Ohio that there's only one place in Ohio to go grab it. Got to call up Caleb, stop by the shop. I have high hopes to be able to announce when they have the books have shipped to me. I would be very happy about that. Yeah, I offered the book to retailers through the Kickstarter, but only a few people. Like I had a lot of interest, but only a few people bought what I put in there, and I only put in the retailer level at like 4 copies because like so often you got to buy like 30 copies or something. If somebody wanted to buy 30 copies for a store, I would do a cover for them. You know, we could do their own. We could do a store variant if they wanted to do. I think the minimum I can get is 25. Hey, Bill, good to see you. Hope things are going well and you have a good holiday. Last week we had a ton of people show up, which was great. And then I'll usually do like just a little border so that it's more like a finished piece like that. There you go. There's what one of the box doodles look like. Pretty neat, huh? It's nice to get in the mail, and then, you know, on the other side, your label, you get your book and all your stuff, and you get your thank you note, so. Pretty fun. Oh, no rush at all. We'll get to work on, back on these sketches that we're plowing through. I've drawn him a million times, you know. That's a character that I drew. I drew the character for 10 years, you know. When you do a run like that on a book, you can draw them with your eyes closed. And I've got to do like 100 of these, I think. I should be able to bang them out in a couple days. You know, I'll do some Krakus. I'll mix it up. I'll do some Ninja Turtles. Try to make them different. Oh, here's the one from last week that we started. This sketch will be, one of the early birds. We've been working our way through these. If you got the early bird ink sketch, you get one of these 6x9 drawings in there too. So this one's actually close to being able to just start inking it. So take out some pens. Yeah, the Tig is a character that I can just draw, at any point. But I've done remarks. It's one of the only characters that I'm comfortable doing remarks with. I actually have to buy some paint pens for signing these books too. So I guess that's where the saved tape money will go. Yeah, sure, Bill. It's not hard. The live video thing, if they're interested in doing it, there is a program that I use called Restream, and they have a free level for you to test out if you don't want to buy a membership or whatever. It just says Restream on the video. If you look at my earlier ones, they say Restream on the earlier ones. But after a while, I wanted some of the other features, and you're able to stream to multiple platforms at once, and it doesn't take any extra work, which is nice. And I just have a really basic Logitech Brio off-the-shelf camera. I think it costs around $100. You can certainly spend as much money as you want on a camera or a setup. But yeah, mine's really simple. I just have it attached to a tripod that was, again, off the shelf. I think it was $25 or $30 for the tripod, and the camera came with this little arm that it clicks to. I think most people have a fancier setup. I think I do mine pretty bare bones. Thankfully, the people who come hang out are very forgiving of the low budgetness of what I do. I try to make up for it with the drawing. What type of painting does she do? Does she do oil painting or watercolors or? This is Undersea Hero protecting a crab. You can see there's a crab. He's like running away because there's this big wave coming. Yeah, it's pretty easy. And I don't have any like fancy software either. I just do it through the web browser. So like you can just connect with your regular old Chrome or Edge or whatever browser you use. And there are other versions of the software. Some people use one called StreamYard. My friend that does the show, the Angry Geek Show, Lewis, he uses StreamYard. And I think the Indie Comics Network and a few others that I know use StreamYard. But I don't know. A friend of mine who did gaming streaming introduced me to Restream, and I just found it very intuitive. And the other thing that was really positive about my work with it is that anytime I've had a customer service question or an issue, their customer service has been just excellent. And I'm perfectly happy to pay a little bit extra to have that. When something is broken, a person will help me fix it, and that's a really, really good thing. They do have some automated help, but when something is going wrong, they'll have somebody on the horn. The Kickstarter ended a long time ago, so unfortunately, we'll just have to do it on our own. I'm doing my best to get stuff out as soon as I can because I've said it many times. It's late. I feel really guilty about it, but I'm really trying to deliver something people will be proud to keep and enjoy. Oh, watercolors, very nice. I love watercolors. Yeah. It's a much more dynamic medium than most people give it credit for. People generally think of it in a very particular look, but you can really do lots of interesting things with it. I just went to the MFA up in Boston, and they have a Winslow Homer watercolor exhibit going on right now. And some of the pieces that were there are ones from private collections. So like you never know if you'll ever get to see them again. And some of them, I don't, I assume they've all been cataloged and published at this point, but like it was just really, really well done. And that's where my new profile picture was taken, was at the Winslow Homer exhibit. And of course, anytime I'm left to my own devices, there's a Simpsons reference, and there's the famous episode with Magic Johnson, which that is a quote from. Our light's up over here, so we've got to establish that as best we can. He's got the little black collar. And like, where this trapezius muscle is. Actually, I think I'm going to darken out some of that, carve into it a little bit, just because of the, try to give it more shadow. On this side, we'll actually leave some lines open. This is a Tombow pen. These are really, really good. Oh, okay. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. I don't add a lot of special effects or anything. It's just sometimes with those shows, the more famous higher production stream shows, they have multiple people running the stream, so I can't like put in like the fancy emojis or the super chats or any of that stuff. It's this stuff's neat and all. I got to draw the pictures too. We've done a ton of episodes, 173 episodes, and originally it was just to give away sketches during COVID when we were all locked down, and then kind of became its own thing, and then it became this like, I don't know, it's like become an archive for this whole project. Like the whole, I have streamed working on like every element of this book. So like someone could literally go back with their book in hand and see, that page being worked on. I'm sure somebody else has done it, but I've never seen it before. So like, I don't know, there's something kind of neat to that. So like if somebody was reading the book and they were like, oh man, I wish I could see how this page was drawn or why he made this decision. And you can literally go to my YouTube channel, pull up that page, like that video of me working on that page, and then you'll hear me talking through working on it. You know, I don't know. I just don't know. That's been, it's probably been done, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. So, because whenever I was working on, somebody else's IP, you sign NDAs where you're not allowed to show anything ever. And I don't know, I kind of came to this conclusion that because of how social media works, with people only seeing some of the stuff that I do, that maybe they'll see one or two spoilers. The people who know what I'm doing and they don't want to see any spoilers, they'll just skip watching on those episode days or not watch the show. But I don't know, I just didn't feel like it was hurting it. I think that, and I hate spoilers, I really do. I'll avoid movie trailers until the movie comes out of something that I already know I want to see. All right. Gotta keep the lighting consistent because that's what keeps it believable. Wanted to have his hand coming forward a little bit of foreshortening. So let's see if we can pull it off without me messing it up. Oh, and yes, I still maintain that there is a big surprise on the book that I'm waiting to show. It'll be first shown, I think, on this show after the books arrive. That's what I think. I think I owe it to everyone that's been here to have this be the first place to see the big surprise that's on the book. That's pretty cool. Oh wow, you still have it? Awesome. Well, thank you for keeping it and framing it. Really that's really nice. Yeah, after we get all the big projects done, I do want to do more giveaways and stuff on the stream. Just give away copies of the new book, give away sketches, get people generally excited. So, and we'll see. I've had a bunch of other people ask me about different projects when it's done, and do I want to do this or that? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do next. There's one project that I love working on that we only did one issue of that I would love to do more of, and that's the that Iron Face book. I loved working on that book. I don't know how many folks in the stream read that book. It's ridiculous, and that's kind of what drew me to it. So, and one of the cool things about that book is if you take your first issue of that over to YouTube or to what's Twitch, you can actually see Andrew WK reading the first story, that issue. One of my favorite things about this is just this whole concept is getting to draw people interacting with sea creatures, and like I don't know, I love going to aquariums. I just love the ocean, and it's fun to draw that interaction. Hey, Dr. Mask. How's it going? I already showed off the zine that arrived. We got the making of zine has arrived. Hopefully the books are in the mail soon from the printer, the finished books. So that'll go with those prints that we said, and we've got 2 more prints that'll be on their way. I don't know how people will feel about the Atlantic Pacific prints, but I like it. That's why I did them. Everyone was telling me like you need to do holograms or this gimmick or that gimmick, and to me, I was like, I wanted to come up with something that felt like it matched the tone of the book. And the Atlantic Pacific print, which has water on it from both the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. I actually brought the water back with me from the last time I was at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know, that seemed more like a gimmick that is something that fit the character. And I don't know, again, trying to do something that other people haven't done. Thank you. Well, with Undersea Hero, one of the things I did was I took everything that I had learned while working on the tick and applied it to this concept I came up with back in college. Like that was kind of like the mechanisms, the construction, the different stylistic choices I was making through that. And I just thought that it fit the character well because at the time, I absolutely was like, I loved the tick. I was just reading it, watching the shows. Like I said, the 90s one with Patrick Warburton is free on Tubi right now if anyone wanted to watch it. And the pilot is great. Like it's one of those rare shows where the pilot is awesome. Now it has some episodes that aren't as strong later, but like the first 2 episodes are just the terror and the pilot are just hilarious. Then Ron Perlman shows up in an episode later. That was a good one. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't feel right to me, those hollow foily things for this feeling on this book. It can look very cool. I just didn't think it was right for this. Like my buddy Joe St. Pierre did this black on black, like spot gloss cover, and it was gorgeous. I don't know if anybody has seen that one. It was for his new Zodiacs book, his most recent one. Man, that looked sharp. Sorry, I keep sliding the drawing closer to me because usually when I'm drawing, it's a little bit more underneath me than when I'm on my stream here. I'm gonna have to look back. I do think I did these drawings for like $15 or something. I don't even remember at this point. All in all, I have to get 21 finished, which isn't too bad. I think I've got 12. I think I have a dozen done now. Yeah, it is expensive. Yeah, but it looked beautiful. I gotta say, like the one that Joe did, man. And honestly, like I think I don't even know if I've ever seen them do that with like a Batman comic. Like I've seen them do all the die cuts, all of the different embossing, seen all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if they've ever just done a spot gloss on a all black cover. It was sharp. Looked like that comic was wearing a tuxedo. I was looking at different ways to do a hologram, and there's like the rainbowy, glowy version that you see a lot of printers doing. But I was actually looking at getting real hologram stickers printed, and just you have to get so many of them done, and it is expensive if you want an actual hologram instead of that rainbow gloss foil. Where it looks 3D. Like you remember the Fatal Attractions books back in the '90s, like the cool Wolverine, and then there was the one with Magneto, and they were just those were when I think of a hologram, those are what come to mind. I know they tried to do a hologram on Wolverine 100 when he got. They were trying to put the adamantium back in, and he became like the feral version of Wolverine. People do all sorts of neat stuff with. I mean, it's just amazing. Like in my lifetime, if you wanted to print a comic book, you pretty much had like photocopy books that were stapled together at magazine size. Maybe you had a print shop locally that could trim them down, or you had to send it off and get like, if you were doing it on a press, you had to get like 1,000 copies was the minimum anyone would do. You know, famously, Eastman and Laird got a loan from Kevin's uncle to print the 1,000 or whatever it was. For what was it, Fugitoid before Ninja Turtles? It had the Ninja Turtles ad in the back. I don't know why I picked this pose. I kind of like just him stepping up on a rock, like trying to help out a crab. That was the extent of the concept. It was not a high. I was not thinking about the struggle of mankind or man versus nature and anything beyond like, hey, that crab might need my help. Yeah, just printing in general has changed so much. Like um, short run digital just was not a thing when I was young. My local comic book store was the first place that had a digital print shop in the mall where they were. Hey, no worries. Yeah, you have a good night too. Thanks for popping in. Have a good stream. If you're still on afterwards, I'll check it out. Mm. Might have to noodle that a little bit. There we go. Noodle, noodle. Oh, I'm sorry you're not feeling well. That's not fun. Getting sick is not fun. No. Stock up on some soup and stuff before you go. Before you get sick, too sick to go pick it up. If you can, get some canned soup in the house, apartment, box, car, dwelling, high-rise apartment, wherever you find yourself. Beachfront resort property. His hand is supposed to look like it is at rest, like he's reaching here, but he's not stressed. So, like the second hand is giving you an idea that he's not anxious. He's trying to be calm. There we go. Some sort of spam. We got some spam from over on Twitch. I'm surprised they still send me spam from over there, just because I don't have a big following there. Most of the folks that watch me watch from YouTube, Facebook, and my website, and that's actually just a reposting of the YouTube. So, but I can see through my website, when people are watching there instead of directly on YouTube. Brush pen here, fill this in. This would be fun to color in watercolors instead of inking, just because of the translucence of the wave that would be behind him. I do feel like I'll do a couple paintings like that in the future, just because I think it's a really excellent effect. And painting water is actually something I'm pretty good at. Lots of practice. There we go. And Undersea Hero has like your classic, just old boot. I think that kind of makes how he swims pretty funny, just visually. We'll have to do the lettering before we get too far into the wave. It's kind of roughing out. Draw our little crab friend that's down here. If I were to guess what type of crab this is, it would probably be close to like a green crab, but I don't know. The claws are kind of more like a blue or lady crab. They're both swimming type crabs, so like when they're on land, they kind of move awkwardly. A green crab is pretty good at moving on the ground, so it's like a purple shore crab. There's certain crabs that are more adept from transitioning from water to the land. I also don't just make up some sea creatures too sometimes, just because it's fun. Fiddler crabs, that's another good land crab that's actually around here in New England. They're the ones that dig the little holes at the beach. If you ever see the little holes with the little, basically what look like BB sized balls of sand next to them, those are dug out by crabs actually. And they live in these big colonies. There's a little crab friend. Hey, no worries. Feel better, Martha's. I'll check out those emails. Thank you. Feel better. As we all know, Undersea Hero's got the hair on his arms. And I talk about this in the context of character design, and it helps differentiate. Like if this were printed in black and white, it would differentiate and create separation between the different portions of the design. The all black leather of the like wetsuit material, and then the boots and the gloves, they're all a certain way, and then the texture on his shirt is just a crisscross pattern, and then the texture on his skin is you see the hair on top of it, so it gives it a greater visual break from each different section. So it's to help make the character more readable. I think my wife is watching a hockey game, and I think somebody just scored a goal. Oh crap, friend. You okay, Caleb? Your message just said I'm. Okay. See, when I erase everything, you'll be able to read each section of his design clearly. That's the whole idea of having the different textures and the different components. You think about Spider-Man, he's got that web texture, and then he's got the black blue area of his suit too. And that all just makes him more readable when he's drawn in black and white. But when you add that flat red and that flat blue, it really pops. I made him green for the simple reason that green is and always has been my favorite color. Legibility was something that I was naive about as a young artist. So, like, it's something that I really take into account now when I'm trying to design characters and pages. Let's see if I have a better pen for this part. Let me make sure I'm spelling prodigious correctly. I did spell it correctly. Yay. Let's see if I have my loopy swoopy thing. Loopy swoopy thing. Let's see if these are big enough. This will give me enough to where I can eyeball it after I put it on there. Try and lay it down. I know it's too tight right here, but what I can do is I can use this to just eyeball the rest of it. And this we can just go with a smaller circle. What we'll do, we will do some less lazy lettering on this one. You okay, Caleb? We just got the I'm hoping it's just I'm heading out, or I'm going to dinner or something. This is a lettering technique that Bob Polio, if you read any of the old Tick comics back when he used to letter it by hand, this was a way that he used to differentiate some of his lettering. It was with this big, high fidelity stroke around the letters. I always thought it was cool looking. And then I'll show you what we'll do with the balloon itself. There we go. Get our loopy swoop. We might finish this one. That would be fun. That would be nice. I'd be happy about that. Let's move it up just a little bit. What we do is we take a smaller one like this, put it inside. And look, this is a lot of work, just for like a little gag on a sketch, but I want it to be good, right? Like this, I'll use this pen. Get a different one. This one here. And then since this is kind of an awkward size, we'll do a little bit. Color this in. All right, let's get our erasers going. One of them stuck to the pen. It's kind of stuff that my friend Doug used to make fun of me for having my stuff in a plastic bag. Gotta draw a little more water down here. We can clear out this these pencil marks so you can see it a little better. Not sure how it looks. A little more. Again, just another texture so that you can tell just quicker these are rocks, and it's a different texture than the crab, and it's a different texture than, Undersea Hero. So I don't think I want to add too much to the background or anything. I like how it looks. I'll add some extra wave off to the side here. So there's more water coming, but a little bit. Fill that in. I think that'll do it for that sketch. Not bad for just an early bird sketch. Just sign our name somewhere and leave myself very much room. Although it does need just a little bit more eraser. I use two different erasers so I don't have to press down as hard, and I can get a clear result without pulling any ink off or anything. Sometimes these marker pens, the ink, even if it's pigment based, it'll just sit right on top of the paper and it can come off with just a hard eraser pull. Like microns are notorious for that. There we go. There we go. Just want to put one little extra mark here. Nose just a little bit more. There we go. So that's our early bird sketch. You can't really see the edges just because of the. But yeah, I think we'll call it a night. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking things out. Things are moving with Undersea Hero, and I hope everybody has a really good really good weekend, the rest of your week. And yeah, we'll see you next Wednesday. And thanks again. And have a good night, everybody.